Hi everyone, my name is Steph, this is the Novelty Corner, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to my March TBR. We're going to be racing the sun this morning as the sun is rising, and I'm trying to film before I have to close any blinds because it's going to be another really hot day. However, I'm really excited about today's TBR. We're going to go through my regular TBR things, and then I'm also going to do my roll of Reads TBR. If you missed my post in my community tab, I'm one of the co-hosts. This is hosted by Mel from A Book Fiend Named Mel. It's based off her D&D based TBR game. The reason I'm playing it after I do my regular TBR is because I want to see how many of the books that I actually set on my TBR I can actually include in my roll of Reads TBR for ease and simplicity of my life, really. So apparently we weren't going to last very long into this video at all because I've already had to close the blinds. I will talk more about roll of Reads when I get to it. As mentioned last month, this is just going to be a pure TBR, not a reset, just because life. And we are going to start straight away with my reading challenges for the month of March. I am participating in the Buzzwordathon by Books and Lala. There are 2 prompts every month. There is a buzzword in the title and a covered challenge. For March, the word challenge is any title that features the word thing, and for this I'm going to read Crazy Little Thing Called Love by Christina C. Jones. I have not read Christina C. Jones in a while, so I'm super excited to finally get to this one that's been on my TBR for a while. For the cover challenge, the prompt is to find books on the cover, and for this I'm going to finally read Can't Spell Treason Without T. There are bookshelves in the background, so that counts as books. I've heard mixed things about this, but a lot of people that I personally talk to a lot have really enjoyed it, so I'm excited to finally add this to a TBR and have it be something that I'm going to pick up in the month. So both those books will feature in my Buzzwordathon vlog around about the second week in March, if everything goes to plan. For my March priority reads, the first one is Rules of Redemption by T.A. White. This is for the Phoenix Chronicles read-along. It is a sci-fi romance. This is a reread for me of this particular book in the series, so I'm very excited. It's space shenanigans and all sorts, and it's really, really fun. I'm so excited to actually go back and reread this one, and then to, you know, round out the series throughout this year. I also have another reread in this section, and that is Slave to Sensation by Nalini Singh. This is the Sci-Changeling series. I've done a whole series of videos based on the Sci-Changeling series. It is paranormal romance. It's delightful. This first book is never my favorite in the series. However, one of my very best in real life friends and I are planning on rereading this. We're both seeing Nalini Singh at the end of the month, and she's never read the Sci-Changeling series. She has read Guild Hunters, and we were trying to pick a book for us to read and talk about, so we decided to go with this one because why not? I should say, I also bought the artwork that was commissioned for the Sci-Changeling series a couple of years ago, and I'm slowly sticking what I have of it into the covers of the books, so it's kind of like I'm creating my own little artwork pieces, and it's really fun. For the review titles that I'm planning on reading in March, I haven't received anything from publishers yet. I tend to receive those around about the first or second week in the month, so it makes it a little bit difficult to include them in these TBRs. But I do have a NetGalley arc of Red Dust Running by Anita Heiss, which I'm finally going to read. That is one of my top priorities this month, is to actually finally get to this book, because I haven't really read Anita Heiss's contemporary stories that feature romances, so I'm really excited to just get into it. I don't know, sometimes I build these things up in my head and I don't want to dislike them, but I just need to start reading them. All right, so that brings us to the Annotation Project. If you're new here, this is where I have a bunch of books that are on scratch cards that feature rereads of books that I want to annotate, either with tabs or physically annotating in them. I obviously annotate more than these books per month as I'm reading if I really feel like I want to annotate something, but these cards are just to help me with my sort of backlist rereads that I want to try and get to. Let's just shuffle. I can no longer remember what's on any of these. Let's go with this one as I drop everything else. Ooh, okay. Good thing March is longer than February, because this is A Lady for a Duke by Alexis Hall. So A Lady for a Duke is actually one of my favorite historical romances. It is queer, it features a trans heroine, and it is a friends to lovers story. As you can see, I've already tabbed it up when I read it the first time, so this will be probably going through and highlighting or annotating my favorite passages in here, so that's exciting. For my KU Backlist project, I'm going to be reading Peaks of Colour by Victoria Wilder. This is the oldest book out on my KU TBR. I believe it's a small town romance. I can't remember where I saw it. I've obviously added it to my TBR for a reason, so we will find out when I pick it up. Then we have my Kindle Star Jar, which is all of my backlist books. Now this could be interesting because I have since gotten rid of a lot of books, as always happens, particularly as I'm doing my, you know, tri-chapter videos. I tend to get rid of stuff, but let's go with this star. These stars look so great, but they're tiny and they are fiddly. Turnabout. What is that? Oh, okay, so this is by Laurel Greer. This is actually a fairly recent book on my TBR. Oh, is it part of Vino and Veritas? It's part of one of those series, but that's okay because I am actually going to be reading one of those series this year as part of my series TBR. So that's good. We're going to make some series progress. The newest ebook on my TBR is The 7 Rules for Moving On by Jess K. Hardy, which is a Valentine's novella, and I'm very excited about this one. I love Jess K. Hardy's work. I like her contemporary stuff, I like her sci-fi stuff, and I'm going to be adding a book of hers to my TBR. Plus, it's really, really pink. And one thing I really love is pink. So bring on all the pink books. Do I have a pink stack and maybe plans to do a vlog of pink books? Maybe. Maybe not this month though. All right, and then the last thing on my official TBR for the month before I jump into Roll of Reads is my middle fiction and young adult books. What will we be reading? Probably should have checked. Is Hovercar Racer, which is a graphic novel. Alrighty, so this is Hovercar Racer. It is quite literally about a racing race. This is a graphic novel adaptation of the middle grade book. I've been meaning to read this since I got a copy of it. So let's talk Roll of Reads. So as I said, Roll of Reads is a readathon hosted by Mel based off her TBR game that she plays each month. It is loosely D&D based. You play with dice, you have 20 cards, and each card has a prompt on it. I'm one of the co-hosts for this alongside Bethany from Beautifully Bookish Bethany, Meredith from Bin Chicken Books, Paige from Pages with Paige, Crystal from Bond Book Reviews, Cara from Wild Book Garden, Kat from Brews and Reviews, Ren from The Reading Ren, and Ellie from Earl Grey Books. So we're all participating, we're all playing along. There is a Discord. I will leave Mel's original video link down below so you can check it out and you can see all the rules and everything and how to play. One thing that the hallmark of this game does feature is there are punishments and rewards. And one thing, if you've been on my channel for a while, you know I don't really play with punishments and rewards. I have this thing about punishments for TBRs. I don't, it actually hurts my brain. Sorry, Mel, I may have tweaked the rules a little bit just so that I could function properly while playing the game. There are 5 set places on the board. So 1, 5, 10, 15, and 20 all have set prompts. They stay on the board every time. Because it's a D&D based game, if you roll a 1, that's seen as a punishment because it's not a really good roll. If I roll a 1, I'm just going to add an extra book and I'm not going to worry about rewards for myself. The other rule that I will stick to is that if I roll the same number 3 times, I will also add another book. I'm starting out with 8 rolls and I will admit I did get 1 punishment in here, but that's okay. We're fine. We're fine with it. It's all good. We're going to cue the rolls and then I'll tell you about the books that I picked. So, roll number 1 was a recently acquired book. For this, I picked Puck My Heart by Sofia Aves. This I picked up at a recent book event, and it is novella length, and I would like to read it. So, it's short, and it's going to be the first book on this TBR. Roll number 2 is a book for a project, and for this I'm going to be reading Can't Spell Treason Without T by Rebecca Thorne. This is a book for the Buzzwordathon Readathon. It's also a book for a video vlog project that I'm doing based on that readathon. So, project book. Roll number 3 was number 1 pick, so we are adding a roll, but it was for the prompt Out of My Comfort Zone. And for this, I'm going to be reading My Family and Other Suspects by Kate Emery. This is a young adult thriller. I don't know, not something I tend to gravitate towards so much anymore, so that's out of my comfort zone. Roll number 4 was Random Color Generator. So for this, I need to bring up a color generator and let's see if I can find one. So this is the starting color. We're going to generate it 3 times. 1, 2, 3, black. Well, that's actually helpful. Let's just add Slave to Sensation to the TBR because I'm already reading it for the month and that is a very black cover. Number 5 is to read a host favourite, and I am really cheating for this because one of the books that I'm reading this month is actually one of my host favourites. So I'm going to be reading my own. I'm going to be reading Rules of Redemption by T.A. White. I feel no shame over this. Roll number 6 was an indie or self-published book. For this, I'm going to read A Crazy Little Thing Called Love by Christina C. Jones. Again, it's already on my TBR, planning on reading it. That's what's going to fit for this prompt. Roll number 7 was the second time I rolled this prompt, and it was to read a book for a project. And so I'm also going to be adding Reaching Through Time by Shauna Bostok to this list. I'm hoping to read through some of my old review copies that I received and haven't had a chance to pick up yet. This one is probably the oldest on my TBR, so I really do want to read it. It intimidates me. Roll number 8 is a book that is set somewhere where you have never been. And I don't know if this is stretching the prompt a little bit, but I feel like it's relevant and I feel like it needs to be on this TBR. And it is What Does Israel Fear from Palestine by Raja Shehadeh. And this is a book I've been meaning to read for a while. It's a little tiny thing. It talks a lot about the history between Israel and Palestine, and I've never been to Palestine. So yeah. Also helps with my non-fiction quota for the month. And then roll number 9 was a mood read. And I don't like to pick books for mood reads because then they're no longer mood reads. So whatever I decide to pick up randomly first throughout the month will count for this prompt. And trust me when I say I mood read a lot. So this isn't a cop out for me in not picking a book. I will find something. It will probably be a Nalona Andrews reread, let's be real, but I will find something. So now the lighting is getting really ridiculous. I am racing it yet again, but this is my stack plus a couple of ebooks thrown in here for the month of March. As always, I will leave a list of the books listed down below, as well as links to the co-hosts for the Roll of Reads Readathon. In the comments, I would love to know if you've read any of these books or if you're planning on picking any of them up. Otherwise, feel free to share something that you're planning on reading in the upcoming month. I would love to know. If you'd like to let me know that you're here but you don't want to leave a comment, feel free to leave a book stack emoji. Otherwise, I hope that wherever you are in the world, you're staying safe and healthy, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, everyone.